Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings for Tuesday, March 13th. We got a ton of games tonight. We got 11 games on this Tuesday slate. Big slate. I'm not going to waste any time, guys. Since we have a big slate, just want to get straight down to it. So make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you have not already. Would really appreciate it. I believe we just hit 8,700 subscribers, which is absolutely insane, getting close to 9K. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. And if you haven't yet, be sure you click that button down below. But yeah, starting off at point guard on today's 11-game slate, we got Russell Westbrook, kind of the lead option up top here. Really, once you get down from Westbrook, there's about a 3K difference. Oladipo's kind of your next most expensive guy. Westbrook, really good matchup against the Hawks here. We all know the Hawks. They're not a good defensive team. They're not good defensively against the point guard. You could play Westbrook in this spot. There are other studs, though, that I do like. The Thunder are on a back-to-back as well, which does concern me a bit. You got LeBron James against Phoenix for just 100 more, who I think I'd rather have. You also got Anthony Davis against Charlotte for 300 less, who I think I'd rather have. So right now, LeBron and AD are kind of the studs I want. We'll talk about LeBron later. He's probably my favorite stud out of the three. Westbrook, just being sandwiched in between those two guys, is not a guy I'm really looking to pay up for. I don't like a lot of the stud options at point guard. Just don't feel like a lot of these guys are players I'm jamming in today. Guys like Kimba against the Pelicans, I do like. Lowry against the Nets, I love. But these aren't guys I'm like jamming in, building one lineup around. I don't think these are going to be the guys that make it, especially if I want to pay up for LeBron or AD. I'm not really going to be able to afford Walker or Lowry unless we just get some really good value. But talking about these mid-range guys like Walker, Lowry, even Lonzo against Denver, I do really like Lonzo, especially in this matchup, has done really well. Through 3 games this year against the Nuggets, he's averaged 43 DraftKings points. It does make sense. The Nuggets, they are very bad defensively against the point guard. You can definitely play Lonzo in this spot. He has a reasonable price tag. We all know Lonzo has a ton of upside. Can definitely get you that triple-double. 45 to 50 DraftKings points is possible for Lonzo, especially given this matchup. So he's a good range. I think he's a good play in that 7K range. Maybe Elfrid Payton as well against Cleveland you could go to. Don't mind Payton as well, 7,300. Those are kind of the mid-tier plays I see. In this 6K range, there's not a lot here that I'm really in love with. I think Dennis Schroeder could be a really good play today, especially with Kent Bazemore done for the season. Schroeder gets a lot of usage when Bazemore's off the court, but Schroeder, for me, really only a tournament play. We don't know right now how many minutes this guy's going to get. Some nights he might play close to 35 minutes. Some nights the Hawks just might decide we want to lose tonight, so we're going to bench Schroeder, and we're only going to play like 25 minutes. So for Schroeder in tournaments you could go to. In cash, won't be going there, but he's got a lot of upside. Dude gets a ton of usage when Bazemore's off the court. Bazemore's done for the season, like I said. So in that 6K range, I do like Dennis Schroeder there. If you wanted to play him, Jamal Murray, another guy I see right there in price, who I do like at 6,200. Really good spot against the Lakers. Definitely like that Denver-LA game. That's a game I'm going to have a lot of exposure to. Should be very high scoring and should be competitive as well. And then in this 5K range, if we're going here, there's not really a lot I love here. Maybe Dejounte Murray against the Magic. That's a really good matchup. Magic really bad defensively against the point guard. You could go to Dejounte Murray, but again, not a guy I'm really forcing in. Maybe Satoransky, 5,400 if you're just trying to punt. George Hill, 5,100 against Phoenix you could play, but like I said, guys, these aren't guys I'm really jamming in. I'm not in love with a lot of the cheap value at point guard, especially under 5K. There's not a lot I see here that I'm really forcing in. DJ Augustine against the Spurs, not sure if I want to go there, even though Augustine's been playing well. With Darren Collison back, most likely will not be playing Corey Joseph. Van Fleet you could possibly consider, especially against Brooklyn. Good chance that game blows out. Van Vliet could be looking at 25, close to 30 minutes, especially if it's a blowout. So possibly you could play him at 4,400, but again, these aren't really guys I'm jamming in on the slate. I don't love a lot of the value at point guard. Probably going to be going to this 6K range, 7K range. Guys like Murray, Dennis Schroeder, kind of the guys I mentioned, Lowry, Mitchell, Walker, Payton. These are the point guard plays I really like today. But moving on to shooting guard, looking for guys I haven't already mentioned. A lot of plays here up top, kind of point guard eligible. I didn't talk about them. Guys like Drew Holiday, Lou Will, Brad Beal, even Devin Booker. I don't know if these are guys I'm jamming in. Possibly Booker you could go to against Cleveland. Just because if this game stays competitive, Devin Booker, going to be a big reason why. This should be a pretty high-scoring game. You do have two teams that don't play a ton of defense. And right now with how the Cavs are playing, I think this game can actually stay competitive. Cavs really haven't been blowing anybody out. They actually haven't even been able to win games. So Booker in tournaments I do really like here. He's listed as questionable on DraftKings, but he's actually probable for today. He's expected to play. I like Booker if you want to play him at shooting guard and you want to pay up here. DeMar DeRozan against Brooklyn you could also pay up for. especially at that cheap price of 7,700. Him and Booker are probably my two favorite stud plays at shooting guard. But this is another position. You got mid-tier plays. Going back to that Denver-LA game, Gary Harris, Will Barton, two guys I do like. Taurean Prince you can maybe go to in tournaments, but kind of the same thing with Dennis Schroeder applies to Prince. You never know with the minutes if he's going to play like 30, 35 minutes or if he's only going to play like mid-20s in minutes. Don't really know. All kind of depends on what the Hawks want to do, if they want to win, if they want to lose. Obviously, they're trying to lose. They're tanking. They're trying to get better draft picks. But Prince will also see a boost in usage with Bazemore done for the season. Lately, he's shown upside. Last game against the Bulls, he put up 60 DraftKings points, just a monster game. Prince will have those random games where he goes off. I know he's done it multiple times this year. So you could possibly play him at 6,200. But talking about guys that are shooting guard eligible, at least on DK, I would much rather have Jamal Murray, even KCP as well, just like in that same price range. And then if we're looking in this 6K range, possibly Jonathan Simmons you could go to against the Spurs. Revenge game there. If Aaron Gordon and Fournier are both out again, Simmons has been playing really well with them out. He's been getting a lot of minutes, been very consistent. He's probably my favorite play, especially if those two guys remain out, like in that 6K range. I do like Simmons as a mid-tier play at this position, but kind of similar to point guard. I don't love a lot of the value here. At least 5K and under. There isn't a lot I see. I'm just really forcing in. At least not as of now. Maybe as the day goes on. This is an 11-game slate. We're probably going to get some news as the day goes on that will potentially open up value. But right now, not seeing a lot I love that's cheap at shooting guard. So moving on to small forward, we got LeBron up top here, who I just absolutely love against Phoenix. LeBron is a stud I'm trying to pay up for, so I'm going to put him into the 5 at 11,600. It's just such a good matchup for LeBron. I believe I've said this multiple times, but ever since IT got traded, LeBron hasn't scored less than 50 DraftKings points. You're pretty much getting a 50-point floor from LeBron right now. I think he's a great cash game play on this slate. It's a great matchup. This game, I think, is going to be competitive. With the way Cleveland's been playing, I don't think they're going to be able to blow Phoenix out. And if LeBron plays nearly 40 minutes against this Phoenix team, he could absolutely go off. I love him on this slate. I think he's a stud you should be trying to build your lineups around, especially in cash. He's just giving you such a high floor right now. He's got that ceiling as well, especially in this matchup. So I'm paying up for LeBron at small forward. PG, not very interested in. Tobias Harris, not very interested in. LeBron's kind of the guy I want up top there. And then if we want to go to this mid-tier, just going back to that Denver-LA game, Kyle Kuzma, been playing really well lately with Brandon Ingram out, been playing big minutes as well. Nearly 40 minutes in every single, or at least in his last 4 games, 38, 42, 39, and 39 minutes last 4 games. Been very consistent as well, 31, 43, 26, and 31 DraftKings points. At 6,400, you get 30 DK points from him. That's pretty much getting the job done, at least in cash games. So I do like Kuzma as a mid-tier play if you want to play him as small forward, especially like on FanDuel where you have to play 2 small forwards. Definitely playing LeBron and Kuzma I think makes a ton of sense. Not really sure if Kuzma is small forward or power forward eligible on FanDuel. Haven't looked there yet. But if he is eligible at small forward on FanDuel, definitely like starting my lineups with LeBron and Kuzma at that position, at least on FD. But then looking for other small forward plays, you got KCP, Simmons, who I mentioned back at shooting guard, Prince as well. Do like in that mid-tier small forward. If you want to go this 5K range, Mario Hezonja against the Spurs, not a good matchup. But you could definitely play Hezonja at 5,500 if Aaron Gordon remains out. Michael Beasley, I think, is a really good play today at 5,400 if Enes Kanter is out. Last game against the Raptors, Michael Beasley played 30 minutes with Kanter out, which is the most we've seen him play in a while. Put up 25 DraftKings points. I think Beasley's minutes will be a little bit more secure if Kanter does remain out today. So you could definitely play Beasley here at 5,400 if you want to go to him in this price range. And then if we're going cheap for the really cheap value, but potentially Rudy Gay could be an option at 4,800. I did play him on Monday night. It's not looking very great against Houston. He's not having that good of a game. The Spurs are on a back-to-back, though. We could see Pop maybe rest some guys here, which could give Rudy Gay an opportunity for more minutes. If Aldridge remains out for this game, you could definitely go to Rudy Gay. If you want to go cheap here, kind of the same with Bertans as well. Could be in two cheap options from the Spurs at small forward. But that's really it for the small forward value, at least sub 5K that really sticks out to me. So let's go ahead and move on to power forward. Anthony Davis, a top option here against the Hornets. I do really like AD on the slate. Obviously, since I paid up for LeBron, or at least put him into the 5, I have LeBron ranked ahead of AD, especially for cash games. But for tournaments, Anthony Davis might actually have more upside than LeBron. This isn't like a great matchup against the Hornets. Dwight Howard is obviously a really good defender, AD only put up 42 DraftKings points in 36 minutes earlier this year against the Hornets. You would imagine that Boogie Cousins did play for that game. I'm not particularly sure, but I would imagine Boogie played in that game. Obviously, you take Boogie off the court, it's a whole nother scenario for AD. And with Boogie off the court, just as of late, the dude's been crushing every night, it seems like. As long as he doesn't get hurt, he's going to play big minutes if it's a competitive game. His last 3 games, he's got over 73 DraftKings points in 2 of his last 3 games. He's been playing so well. If I can fit in AD and LeBron today, definitely going to be trying to do that. Hopefully some cheap value opens up. We do have some potential injuries to watch that could maybe open up value, especially with the Magic. Potentially, if Enes Kanter is out today, that could open up value. So AD and LeBron, if I can fit both of them in, we'll really be trying to do that. But looking for other power forward plays, obviously since I didn't jam in AD, there are some options I liked in this mid-tier, especially a guy like Larry Nance. Against Phoenix, I love here at 7K. Phoenix is just so bad defensively. I take guys against them pretty much every slate. Definitely not going to go away from that here. Like a lot of the Cavs players, Larry Nance and LeBron, 2 guys I'm definitely kind of building my lineups around today. Ever since Nance has moved into the starting lineup for Tristan Thompson, the guy's been so good. Played 32, 37, 30, and 26 minutes in the 4 games that he has started. 47, 42, 36, and 26 DraftKings points. Nance got a little bit of a price decrease down to 7K, which I think makes him a very intriguing play, especially given this matchup. So I do really like Larry Nance here. I feel like a lot of people might try and get up to Julius Randle at 8K, especially since he's coming off a monster game against Cleveland where he put up nearly 70 DraftKings points. Randle is 8K though, which is pretty expensive. I do like the 1K discount you get if you go down from Randle to Nance, but obviously if you can find the salary and get up to Randle, I don't mind that at all. But then looking for other plays, Gasol could definitely be an interesting option here if Aldridge remains out, but the Spurs are on a back-to-back. I know Gasol kind of didn't play that many minutes, at least on Monday night. He didn't have that great of a game. Pretty disappointing because I had him in a lot of lineups, but Powell on the back-to-back could definitely be a play. Kuzma you got, who I already mentioned. I do like a 6,400 if you want to play him at power forward. Bielitsa maybe against Washington, but Bielitsa is priced up to 6,200, which is pretty expensive. I don't really like that price tag, but the guy's going to play big minutes. With Jimmy Butler out, he's going to start every game, at least while Butler is out. You can pretty much pencil him in for 20 to 25 DK points. Definitely has potential to get you 35 to 40. Last 2 games, 51 and 34 DraftKings points, so he's been solid as of late, been playing big minutes. Bielitsa at 6,200 could be an option, but I think I would rather get up to some of those guys like Nance, maybe even Kuzma. I think I'd rather get up to, but Bielitsa does make sense if you want to go to him. Then looking for other plays, like in this 5K range, kind of the same guys I've already mentioned, Hezonja and Beasley. I like here if you want to play them in this price tier. And then going for the really cheap value, do have some potential value at this position. If Enes Kanter is out today, Kyle O'Quinn could definitely be a value option at 4,700 against Dallas. Last game that Kanter missed, O'Quinn played 22 minutes, put up 29 DraftKings points. This is a great matchup against the Mavericks. They are a very bad rebounding team. They're a very bad team at defending bigs. And Kanter being out today could potentially open up some value from the Knicks with Kyle O'Quinn. If you wanted to play him at 4,700, but the guy that I really like from the Knicks, if Enes Kanter is out today, he's dirt cheap, 3,300. Luke Kornet, I believe that's how you say his name. I think it's a great value play today, especially given this price tag of just 3,300. And the last game that he started for Enes Kanter, he played really big minutes, played 34 minutes. He got the start. O'Quinn actually played off the bench in that game, and Kornet started. Played 34 minutes and put up 29 DraftKings points, had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. I think if we see Kornet start again, if Enes Kanter is out again, I love him in this spot, especially nearly the minimum price, only 3,300. Don't need much from him at all to return value on this price. I think he makes a lot of sense as a cash play today, especially if you're trying to fit in maybe Anthony Davis and LeBron in cash. Kornet's going to be a really good value option you go to if Enes Kanter is indeed out today. But that's really it for the power forward value. He's the guy that I really like if you're going sub 5K at that position. You obviously have O'Quinn, though, who you could play as well. But moving on to center, looking for some of the stud options here. Towns, Embiid, Jokic, Drummond, Dwight Howard, kind of some stud options we got up top here besides Anthony Davis. I don't really like a lot of these guys, at least for cash games. Like if I'm paying up at this position, I kind of want Anthony Davis, at least if I'm playing him at center. But a guy like Jokic, you could definitely play against the Lakers. Towns is coming off a big game against the Warriors. You could possibly play him as well at 9,400, but I think those guys are really only tournament plays. I think center is really loaded in the mid-tier today. especially with some of these like 6K, 5K plays. There are two guys that I really like from center at this price range, at least in the 5K price range. First off, Jonas Valanciunas, I love today in tournaments. I think he's a really good tournament play. I think he has a lot of upside in this matchup. You do worry about blowout here going up against Brooklyn, but this game does stay competitive, and Valanciunas gets 25 to 30 minutes. He's going to absolutely crush this Brooklyn team, pretty much the worst team defensively against centers. Valanciunas has done really well against them twice this year. Through 2 games against Brooklyn, he's averaged 33 DraftKings points and has played an average of 24 minutes. Lately, Valanciunas has been getting consistent minutes, about mid-20s in minutes every game. If games stay close, he'll sometimes play close to 30 minutes. And we know Valanciunas, a very good point-per-minute producer. When he's on the court, going to grab rebounds, going to score the ball, can get a couple assists as well, can get some blocks as well. And I think at this price tag, he could definitely get 6 to 7x against this Brooklyn team. So I love him at 5,900, especially if you're playing tournaments today. Cash play, though, an optimal play for me, 5,800. Brook Lopez, I think, is a really good play today as well, right in that price range. He's been getting consistent minutes lately as well, which is something we like to see. Last 3 games, Brook Lopez has played 34, 32, and 33 minutes and has put up 33, 43, and 44 DraftKings points. These teams did just play about 3 days ago, and Brook Lopez put up 43 DraftKings points against the Nuggets. I think he's a great play here at 5,800. That's just too cheap for the minutes that Lopez is getting. And now that we're seeing him play consistent minutes, I think he is a really good play, especially when he's just 5,800. So him and Valanciunas are 2 guys that I really like in that price range if you're looking to go there. And then if we're going sub 5K, for the really cheap value, it's mainly the guys from the Knicks that I like. If Cantor's out today, I like O'Quinn and I like Kornet. Both guys I believe you can play at center. But that's really it for center. And I think that's really it for this video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video, and hopefully it did help you. If you did enjoy it and it did help you out, just make sure you give the video a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button. And if you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or you can leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and good luck tonight on this slate, guys. Peace.